Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name's Di. I'm from the Health Promotion Unit. I'm here to speak about the 5 ways to wellbeing. I'm not used to speaking to people. I'm used to doing this in a workshop because that's what it was designed to do after the 5 ways were created, and I'll go into how they came about. A place called Aylesbury made them into a workshop, and then we learned that workshop, and I usually deliver it as a workshop. So you might notice some elements of that today because that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at this. I'm good at working with people, not at them. So the 5 ways to wellbeing were designed as everyday happiness. It's your Joe Bloggs type of happiness. Someone, I think it was Shona before, mentioned the highs and the lows. This is happiness for everyone as we drift through life. We all feel it. There are days we don't feel so great. There are times we don't feel so great. There are longer periods we don't feel so great for. And the 5 ways are like a little checklist. And handily, we have 5 fingers, and I use them to do the checking, of how we can improve ourselves just a little bit. And there are 5 practical things that we can do. I feel like this morning we've done a really great job of what, and it feels really nicely that we're now moving on to how. I'm a very practical person. I'm not very good at doing the thinking thing. So as we go through, we'll look at the practical ways that these can work. Oh, DIY happiness on that last slide was what the Aylesbury Health Promotion called the course. It was DIY happiness. Sometimes we call it in Guernsey, we call it how to make happiness a habit, or we call it the 5 a day for happiness. So the 5 a day came about because the UK government commissioned the New Economics Foundation to do a big study to find out how people could promote their own personal mental well-being. They wanted practical ways that we could enhance our own personal happiness. So they went away and they did a big study. They looked at lots and lots of literature, thousands of pieces of literature, because it needed to be evidence-based, and it was evidenced in the Foresight report. So we've made lots of progress on practical health, and hopefully my talk will be a lot about that, because I do tend to think a lot about our physical health and our mental health and how they connect, physical, mental, mental, physical, because a lot of what I think reacts on what I then do. What I'm thinking translates into whether I eat well, whether I exercise well, and all of that as well. So I think that's really important to make that connection. And what the government said to the New Economics Foundation was, could there be a 5 a day for mental health? We're used to hearing about fruit and veg, but what about our mental health? And it turns out they can. Good, I've got to talk. So the 5 things that they came up with spell CLANG: connect, learn, active, notice, and give. They're pretty much the same as the great part of Great Dream in the 10 keys, but slightly different words. So for example, in great, you've got E for exercise, but in this it's A for active. And I also noticed in Mick's presentation just before, these 5 things were pretty much what the teenagers said under quality of life. They'd said 5 things we could do, and I thought, oh, that's the 5 ways. That teenager had it, so we didn't really need NEF to do that massive study. But you're probably getting this about me by now. We don't want to go believing a whole load of research. I read this research, and I'm one of these people that can't really trust it. So maybe there are some people in here that feel the same. So what I'm going to aim to do today in the next 14 minutes and 5 seconds is to get us all practicing it. Because CLANG and 5 ways and Great Dream is no good unless we actually do it. So I'm workshop-based, and that's what we're going to try and do in the next 13 minutes, 50 seconds. So number 1 is to connect. And the magic number that NEF came up with, oh, thank you. The magic number, but this is perfect. Sorry, a bit of hugging going on in the front. The magic number that the New Economics Foundation found, all the research said that we need to connect with 3 people for our personal mental health and well-being. So say hi, your job now is say hi, hello, how do you do, to 3 people. Hugging. Okay. Well done. I think everyone's doing this well. And now please remember I'm on a time limit here. Shh. Does that work? Shh. Thank you. Thanks for doing that. I did wonder how this would all go down. But great, you said hi to more than 3 people. So New Economics Foundation found that we need 3 people in our lives. We need connections. And they need to be 2 types of connections. We need our really meaningful ones, our what they call strong connections, meaningful, strong connections. Might be family, might be friends, might be partners, that sort of thing. But we also need our shallow ones. Shallow connections. Now, shallow connections might be this person that you just said hi to that you may never see again. The kind of person that you smile at that you don't really know. So maybe someone at work, maybe people you walk past in the corridor, and maybe people when you're out running or cycling, the people you smile at. I have found that actually when I have hit my low times, my shallow connections have been one of my most important. Because for me, one of my personal ways of getting through is to not really share it. I'm not very... If something bad has happened to me, and when something really bad has happened, I can't voice it sometimes. So to pretend I'm okay with my shallow people, because I don't really want them knowing about all that stuff anyway. So with the shallow people, I can pretend I'm still okay. I can smile and say, oh, how are you? How was your weekend? And that has really helped me get through those hard times. So we need both. We need strong and meaningful, and we need the shallow people in our lives. And this is one of the tools used by the Aylesbury Health Promotion when they were doing the course, when they put the course together. It's a mind map. I've brought lots with me, so you can take them away. Next goal, do it at home. And you just put down in any order the people in your life, your strong relationships and your shallow relationships. And then what you're meant to do, the next step, is highlight the ones you haven't been in touch with that recently. I keep my map with me close because actually when I'm at my hard times, I forget I've got people in my life. I forget I've got cornerstones. And they quite often say to me after, why didn't you phone me? Why didn't you call me when that was happening? And I think, oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. So by having this, it reminds me I've got people, and also that I should connect with some people that I haven't been in. In my case, that was Lorraine, Anne, and Nina. So phoning them makes me feel good. And that's my goal. I will get in touch with them. So that's your goal as well, to get in touch with the people that perhaps you haven't made touch with in a while. And usually a good thing happens when you do that. So number 2 is to keep learning. And we've covered that a lot today. We all know the positive benefits of keeping learning. The feeling of achieving a goal, the sense of self-satisfaction. That real feeling that you get when you've learned something new and you can do it. Whether it's a new recipe, learning something new, revisiting an old interest, knitting, speaking a new language, whatever it is. So today, for Workshop Challenge, I'm going to try and teach you something. Kind of regretting this at this moment in time. So I used to dabble in a little bit of street dance, because I wasn't ever very good. But during that, I learned something called hand tutting. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you how it's meant to look. So everyone's comfortable to just do that now, yes? I'm going to show you the basic box stuff. It's all right. I'm going to show you. So you can stand up for it if you want, or you can stay seated, as long as you can see. I've taught my little children this, so I think everyone can. Yeah, no pressure, sorry. So the basic box step is 7 movements. Everyone start here. 1. Slide your fingers up, bottom hand to... Good. 2. Flip it over. 3. Bring it across to your box. 4. Bring it down. 5. Slide it out, fingertips touching. 6. Up to 7. Right, we'll go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great, should we do it without me talking? Oh yeah, I didn't cut that one. Well done! And now if you Google hand tutting and they don't really quit, you know one of the moves, one move, the basic box. So we've learned, and we've done a bit of number 3 as well. We've been a little bit active. So we've done connect, we've learned something new, which in fact we've learned a lot today, it's been great. And we've been a tiny bit active. Now the research is great here, because for physical health, we're meant to do 30 minutes of activity a day. Wow, that's a lot to fit in. But for good news is for mental health, it's 10 minutes. And surely even the busiest amongst us can fit 10 minutes in, walking between meetings, walking up some stairs, taking a little break instead of that cup of tea, or even taking a cup of tea with you, and doing a walk. So 10 minutes has been shown to improve your mental well-being, improve your productivity afterwards, because you make better decisions. Everything goes a bit better after that 10 minutes of doing something. And your mood is increased. Right, we're up to number 4. Notice. Workshop challenge for notice. My appearance has changed since the beginning. Yeah, well done. Hair, I took my hair down. I was a bit worried about the mic doing that. Good. So I've taken my hair down. So number 4, take notice. It's about taking notice of our beautiful surroundings. And in Guernsey, we're really lucky. We've got the cliffs. We've got the walkway across the road at the park, whichever direction that is in from this room. We live in a very beautiful island. We've got beautiful beaches. We've got beautiful cliffs. It's about noticing the beautiful, the amazing, the unusual, and taking it in, and especially actually when you aren't feeling quite right, noticing a beautiful flower or noticing a bit of nature actually really helps boost you just for those few seconds. And the more few seconds that add up together, the happier you are in a longer period of time. But it's also about taking notice of yourself. How are you feeling inside? I know how I'm feeling inside right now, and I've shared it with a few people in here. But taking notice of how you're feeling inside. Should you be doing that today? Should you cancel something today? Should you phone that friend today? Should you go for a run, or should you actually stay at home? How are you actually feeling? Are you like the man there with all that stuff going on in his head? Perhaps we all need to be a little bit more dog, a bit less going on. And sometimes actually it's something really basic. Sometimes I'm just hungry and that's why I'm not feeling right. So it's about taking notice of all that stuff, taking notice of the external and the internal. Challenge as well. So when you leave, most of us have cameras on our phones. Take a photo of something very beautiful or something unusual. Number 5 is to give. Number 5 is to give. Actually, this is easy for me today. So, number 5, I'm going to do the workshop bit of give. I'm going to do the number 5. And thank you, you 3, for taking part so much. Hugging straight away on Connect. So number 5 is give. Cooperation triggers response in reward areas of our brain. I think somewhere in it says it actually helps, it's been shown, reduces death rates at the bottom there. So giving can help reduce death rates. That's got to be a good thing. And it's about intentional giving. I stole that phrase from Shauna Kaur after going to a wonderful workshop with Shona. Because a lot of us give anyway, and that's a lot about that internal taking notice. We give to our parents, we may look after parents, we may look after children. We might be in a job where we're doing a lot of giving. And we still think, well, I'm not feeling all right, and I give all day. Was one of the things that someone said to me on one of the workshops. She said, I wake up with the children, and then I'm practically brushing their teeth, then I do their breakfast, and then I rush them out, and I put them in their uniforms. I give, and I'm not feeling all right. And the thing is, it's about intentional giving. It's about giving someone that unexpected bunch of flowers, or making a cake for someone, or smiling, or thanking someone, taking some biscuits into work, very healthy ones, of course, I'm from health promotion. Volunteering your time, doing something for someone, listening to someone said. And during one of my courses, someone gave me a tip. They said, Dan, the greatest gift you can give is to take, because they knew me well enough that sometimes I don't ask for help. And I'm sure a lot of us can be a bit guilty of that. So, at the beginning, I mentioned physical, mental, mental, physical. And I also said I'm not great at believing in research. I do like to run. And it occurred to me during the 5 Ways courses that I would never dream of running a marathon without putting in the training. So then why am I expecting my mind to be okay? Why am I expecting my mind to be mentally well if I'm not putting in the training, if I'm not doing my clang, if I'm not doing stuff to make myself mentally all right? Because I would be really silly to run a marathon without putting in any mileage. So the 5 ways to connect, to learn. Has someone done that around here? You're giggling. Someone's run a marathon without putting in the training. Take notice and to give. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect, learn, active, notice, give. This has been a really quick whistle-stop tour, because we deliver this sometimes as a 6-week course and sometimes over 3 weeks, but with 2 big sessions over the 3 weeks. We've got a lot of literature about it. There's a lot of tools. Please take away a mind map. They're very safely placed paper mind maps by those candles there. But there's a lot of tools we can do to help promote how we do the connect, learn, active, notice, give. Or you can phone me. Thank you.